with victory but with restoration. Enemies were honored, allies revived, Dharma re-established. The time had come to return home. For 14 years Rama had wandered in exile. Now, with Sita and Lakshman beside him, with Sugriva and Hanuman at his side, he prepared to return to Ayodhya. As their chariots soared across the skies, guided by the Pushpaka Vamana, they passed forests and rivers, mountains and plains. Every village they crossed rejoiced at the news, Rama returns. The Prince of Ayodhya, the upholder of Dharma, the slayer of Ravana. The world seemed to awaken from a long night, as though dawn had come after endless darkness. But the greatest joy awaited in Ayodhya, where Bharat had lived as regent, ruling not from the throne, but from Rama's sandals placed upon it. For 14 years he had kept his vow, living as an ascetic, awaiting his brother's return. When he heard the news, he rushed out with citizens, ministers, and sages, his eyes brimming with tears. On the day of their reunion, the brothers embraced, their love dissolving years of sorrow. Bharat bowed before Rama and placed the sandals back beneath his feet. The throne has awaited you, my lord. Take it, for it is yours by right, yours by dharma. Rama lifted him and said, No greater brother lives than you, Bharat. You rule not as king, but as servant of dharma. The kingdom is whole because of you. The coronation was held with grandeur. The palace of Ayodhya shone with lamps, the streets were filled with garlands, the air with music. Citizens wept with joy as Rama, clad in royal robes, was crowned king. At his side sat Sita, radiant as Lakshmi herself. Lakshmana stood as guardian, Bharat as minister, Shatrughna as protector. Hanuman sat humbly at Rama's feet, his only joy in service. This was not merely the return of a king, it was the triumph of righteousness. For Rama's journey had not been about reclaiming a throne. It had been about upholding dharma, showing the world that truth endures, that love survives, that justice prevails. And here lies the lesson for us: victory is not measured in conquest, but in righteousness. Reunion is not merely of bodies, but of souls tested by trial. Triumph is not in the fall of enemies, but in the restoration of harmony. Sita teaches us that dignity can pass through fire and emerge unburned. Rama teaches us that leadership means placing dharma above desire. Hanuman teaches us that service is the highest joy. Bharat teaches us that loyalty sustains kingdoms. Together they show us that righteousness is not an abstract idea, it is a living force that triumphs when tested. In our lives, too, we await reunions. We await the triumph over struggles that have held us captive. We await the dawn after nights of despair. The Ramayan reminds us, if we endure with courage, if we walk with faith, the day of reunion will come. The fire will not consume us. The exile will not last forever. The throne of joy will be restored. This is the triumph of righteousness, that truth cannot be chained, that dharma cannot be defeated, that love cannot be destroyed. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that true victory is righteousness and true reunion is of souls, support this journey of dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational dharma vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description. Episode 14: The Return to Ayodhya. True leadership means serving the people. The long years of exile had ended. The war in Lanka had been fought and won. Ravana had fallen, Sita had been reunited with Rama, and the Vanara armies had returned to their forests with songs of victory. Now only one journey remained, the journey back to Ayodhya, the city that had waited 14 long years for the return of its beloved prince. The Pushpaka Vamana, the celestial chariot once belonging to Ravana, now carried Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana across the skies. The world below seemed transformed. Rivers sparkled with light, mountains bowed in reverence, forests whispered with joy. Villagers gathered in celebration as they saw the divine chariot pass above them. For news had spread, Rama returns. The king of Dharma comes home. As they flew across the land, Rama paused at holy places, honoring sages, remembering sacrifices, paying respect to allies who had stood with him. At Kishkindha, Sugriva and his Vanaras bid farewell, their eyes wet with love. Rama embraced Hanuman and said, "Without you, none of this would have been possible. You are not servant, you are family. May your devotion be remembered for all eternity." Hanuman bowed, his heart overflowing. "My lord, my only joy is to serve you. Command me again, and I will leap across oceans or carry mountains as many times as needed." At last, the chariot approached Ayodhya. There, Bharat waited. For 14 years he had ruled not as king, but as regent, placing Rama's sandals upon the throne, living a life of austerity, waiting for his brother's return. When he heard Rama's chariot approach, he rushed out, barefoot, his eyes brimming with tears. The citizens of Ayodhya followed, carrying garlands, drums, and lambs. When the brothers met, they embraced as if the years of separation dissolved in a single heartbeat. Bharat fell at Rama's feet, returning the sandals. "The kingdom has waited for you, my lord. It is yours, as it always was. I have kept it only in your name." Rama lifted him with love. "No greater brother lives than you, Bharat. You are the true guardian of Ayodhya. Because of you, the kingdom is whole. Because of you, Dharma has been preserved." The coronation of Rama was prepared with grandeur. The palace of Ayodhya was adorned with flowers, its streets lined with citizens eager to see their king again. Bells rang from every temple, conches blew, and the air filled with chants of Jai Shri Ram. At the appointed hour, Rama entered the hall, his face calm, his heart humble. He did not stride like a conqueror, but walked like a servant of the people. Sita sat beside him, radiant as Lakshmi, her dignity shining brighter than jewels. Lakshmana stood at his side, loyal and steadfast. Bharat and Shatrughna stood with folded hands. Hanuman sat humbly at his feet, though the gods themselves would have honored him. Sages poured sacred waters from the rivers of Bharat upon Rama's head. The crown of Ayodhya was placed upon him, and the throne was his once more. Yet Rama did not see it as his right. He saw it as a duty. His first words as king were not of glory, but of service. "This throne is not for my comfort. It is for the protection of Dharma, the service of my people, the welfare of all." Ayodhya rejoiced, yet Rama's example set the tone for his reign. He did not rule as master, but as servant. He walked among his people, listening to their concerns. He ensured that justice was swift and fair, that no citizen felt unheard, that no family felt abandoned. His reign, remembered as Rama Raja, became the model for all kings, an age where truth and compassion reigned, where no one knew hunger, where no one feared injustice, where joy was the birthright of all. This chapter of the Ramayan carries one of its greatest lessons. True leadership is not domination, but service. Rama did not seek the throne. He had been willing to abandon it for 14 years to uphold his father's word. When it was restored to him, he did not see it as privilege, but as responsibility. Bharat shows us the same lesson. Though he could have taken the throne, he ruled only as regent, refusing to betray Dharma. For him, leadership was loyalty, not ambition. Sita too, in her coronation beside Rama, embodied this truth. She had endured exile, captivity, and fire, yet she returned not with bitterness, but with dignity. She served the people as queen, not through power, but through compassion. Hanuman's service reminds us that leadership is not only for kings. Every soul leads by example, through humility, through loyalty, through devotion. And for us, the message is clear: to let us to serve. Whether as leaders of families, communities, or nations, our purpose is not self but others. Power without service is tyranny. Power with service is dharma. Rama Raja is remembered not for wealth or conquest, but for justice and compassion. It was a time when rulers served, when citizens thrived, when harmony reigned. It is the dream of every generation, the ideal we strive for even today. In our lives, we too can create Rama Raja, not by crowns or thrones, but by living with responsibility. In families, we create peace when we listen with compassion. In workplaces, we create harmony when we lead with fairness. In society, we create justice when we act with courage. Each act of service builds a kingdom of Dharma. The return to Ayodhya is not only a story of a king resuming his throne. It is the eternal reminder that leadership is sacred, that power must serve truth, that rulers are custodians, not owners, of their people's trust. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that true leadership means serving others, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Ramayan vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description.
Ramayan Episode 15 Eternal Lessons from the Ramayan for Today's Warrior. The journey is complete. From the birth of Rama in Ayodhya, through his youth of discipline, his exile, the abduction of Sita, the despair of loss, the rise of Hanuman, the war against Ravana, and finally the return to Ayodhya, the Ramayan has unfolded as a river of Dharma, carrying lessons that shine as bright today as they did thousands of years ago. But the Ramayana is not a story of the past alone. It is a mirror held before us, a guide that whispers in every age, "Walk this path, and you too will triumph." For within its verses lie eternal lessons, lessons for warriors, for leaders, for seekers, for every soul walking the battlefield of life. Let us reflect now on these lessons, gathering them as weapons and shields for the war we fight daily. The lesson of birth and destiny. Rama was born not by chance, but by destiny. Yet his greatness was not in birth alone, it was in preparation. From childhood he embraced discipline, humility, and service. The lesson: greatness is not given, it is forged. You may not be born in a palace, but your actions today prepare you for your throne tomorrow. Destiny is not fate, it is the fruit of discipline. The lesson of discipline and training. In the Gurukul, Rama and his brothers rose before dawn, served their teacher, and studied not only weapons but wisdom. When demons came to disturb the yagnas, Rama acted with courage, balancing compassion with duty. The lesson: no warrior is born ready. You become ready by submitting to training, by mastering yourself, by learning humility before knowledge. Discipline is the foundation upon which victory is built. The lesson of love as dharma. In Mithila, Rama lifted Shiva's bow and won Sita's hand. Their union was not passion alone, it was partnership in dharma. Sita walked into exile beside him, not as follower but as equal. The lesson: love is not taking, but walking together on the path of righteousness. True love is not fragile, it endures trial, it uplifts, it strengthens. The lesson of sacrifice without complaint. When Kaikeyi demanded his exile, Rama did not protest. He accepted without bitterness, smiling as he gave up crown and palace. The lesson: true strength is the ability to embrace sacrifice with dignity. Life will demand much of you. Do not complain. Accept, endure, and walk forward. The lesson of resilience in exile. In the forest, Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana lived in simplicity, their strength not diminished by loss. Bharata too showed humility, ruling only in Rama's name. The lesson: resilience is not merely survival, it is dignity in hardship. When the world strips you of comfort, let your character remain unshaken. The lesson of illusion and desire. Shurpanakha's lust, the golden tears allure, Maricha's deceptive cry, all were weapons of illusion. Even the noble faltered for a moment. The lesson: the greatest dangers are not always external foes, but desires and illusions that glitter. Guard your mind. Not all that shines is gold. Not all voices speak truth. The lesson of courage in darkness. When Sita was taken, she scattered her ornaments as signs of hope. In captivity she stood firm, never yielding to Ravana's threats. The lesson: even when all is lost, courage remains. Captivity of the body does not mean captivity of the soul. Dignity is your greatest fortress. The lesson of true allies. In Rama's despair, Jatayu gave his life, Sugriva offered his strength, and Hanuman emerged as the embodiment of devotion. The lesson: true allies are revealed in hardship. Do not mourn when false friends leave you. Look for those who rise in your darkest hour, for they are your Hanumans, sent by destiny. The lesson of faith that moves mountains. Hanuman's leap across the ocean was not muscle alone, it was faith. He remembered who he was, son of the wind, servant of Rama, and in that remembrance he became limitless. The lesson: you too have oceans before you. Remember who you are. Faith awakens power greater than fear, and devotion transforms impossible into inevitable. The lesson of teamwork. The Setu, the bridge to Lanka, was built not by one hero, but by thousands of hands working as one, each stone inscribed with Rama's name. The lesson: no greatness is achieved alone. Unity turns obstacles into stepping stones. Leadership means walking beside others, not above them. The lesson of courage, leadership. and justice. On the battlefield, Rama fought not for conquest but for dharma. He honored fallen foes, revived allies, and wielded power only for justice. The lesson: true leadership is not pride, but service. Courage is not anger, but calmness in the face of fear. Justice is not vengeance, but righteousness upheld even toward enemies. The lesson of triumph and reunion. When Sita emerged from the fire unburned, it was the triumph of righteousness. Their reunion was not only of husband and wife, but of truth and dignity proven through trial. The lesson: fire will test you, but fire cannot destroy the pure. Triumph comes not by avoiding the flame, but by walking through it with faith. The lesson of leadership through service. In Ayodhya, Rama ruled not as master, but as servant of the people. His reign, remembered as Rama Rajya, was an age of justice and compassion. The lesson: leadership is sacred duty, not privilege. To lead is to serve. Power must protect, not exploit. Authority must uplift, not oppress. The eternal lesson: the warrior within. The Ramayana is not only about kings, queens, and armies. It is about the war each of us fights every day, the war between dharma and adharma, between truth and falsehood, between humility and arrogance, between devotion and selfishness. Ravana still lives in the pride within us. Rama still lives in the truth within us. Sita still lives in the dignity we must protect. Hanuman still lives in the devotion we must awaken. The battlefield is the human heart. And so the question the Ramayana asks is not, what did Rama do then? It is, what will you do now? Will you walk with discipline? Will you accept sacrifice with dignity? Will you resist illusion and desire? Will you find courage in darkness? Will you honor true allies and be one yourself? Will you lead with service, not pride? Will you live each day as a warrior of dharma? For if you do, then the Ramayana is not ancient, it is alive in you. The Ramayana ends, yet it never ends. For its verses echo wherever truth is spoken, wherever love is tested, wherever courage rises against fear. Its heroes are not distant figures, they are mirrors of what you can become. Its battles are not forgotten, they are the struggles you fight each day. Its triumph is not past, it is the victory you can claim if you walk the path of dharma. This is the eternal gift of the Ramayana, the assurance that righteousness may suffer, but it will never perish. That arrogance may roar, but it will always fall. That truth may be tested, but it will always triumph. So walk forward, warrior of today. Carry Rama's calmness, Sita's dignity, Lakshmana's loyalty, Bharata's humility, Hanuman's devotion. Build bridges where there are oceans. Leap where others fear to step. Stand firm where others bow. And know that within you burns the same fire that lit Ayodhya, the same strength that shook Lanka, the same truth that will never die. If this journey touched your heart, if it reminded you of the warrior you are meant to be, support this path of dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Ramayan Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description. Episode 2: The Birth of Rama, Destiny and Preparation for Greatness. Ayodhya, a city like no other. In the ancient world it was spoken of as a jewel upon the earth, radiant like the heavens themselves. Its streets bustled with merchants, its gardens bloomed with life, its temples echoed with chants of devotion. The people lived with joy, secure in their prosperity, guided by a king whose name resounded with honor across the land. That king was Dashratha. Dashratha was a warrior without equal, a ruler loved by his people, a man of strength and skill. Yet, for all his victories on the battlefield, for all the wealth of his palace, there was an emptiness in his heart. For he had no heir. His lineage, his throne, his kingdom's future, everything hung in silence, waiting for a son who had not yet been born. His subjects prayed for him. His queens shared his sorrow. And the king himself, despite all his glory, bowed his head in anguish at the thought of an uncertain future. It is in these moments of despair that destiny begins its work. For when man is humbled, he opens himself to the divine. Dashratha sought counsel from his rishis, and it was the great sage Vashishta who guided him to a path of hope. The king would perform a sacred ritual, the Putrakameshti Yagya, a fire sacrifice to invoke the blessings of the gods, to ask that heaven itself grant him the children he longed for. The ritual was prepared with the utmost devotion. Priests gathered, altars were constructed, the fire was kindled. Into that sacred flame, offerings were poured, ghee, grains, chants, and prayers, rising upward like arrows aimed at the heavens. Dashratha stood before the fire not as a mighty king, but as a humble servant, pleading for the blessing of fatherhood. And then, the miracle. From the flames appeared a radiant figure, Agni, the god of fire. In his hands, he bore a golden vessel filled with divine nectar. His voice resounded through the sacrificial ground, "O king, the gods have heard your plea. Take this nectar and share it among your queens. Through this, you shall be blessed with sons who will bring glory not only to your house, but to the world." The king received the vessel with trembling hands, tears filling his eyes. He divided the nectar among his 3 queens, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. Each drank, their hearts swelling with gratitude and wonder. And from that moment, destiny was sealed. Time passed. The seasons turned. And then the palace of Ayodhya was filled with the cries of newborns. First came Rama, born of Kaushalya, radiant like the rising sun. Then came Bharata, son of Kaikeyi, noble and steadfast. Then came the twins, Lakshmana and Shatrughna, born of Sumitra, inseparable in love and loyalty. The kingdom rejoiced as if heaven itself had descended upon earth. Songs echoed in the streets, lamps were lit in celebration, and Ayodhya glowed brighter than ever before. The birth of Rama was not a mere event, it was a cosmic turning point. For at that very time, across the world, shadows were lengthening. Ravana, the mighty king of Lanka, intoxicated by his own power, was spreading terror. His strength was unmatched, his arrogance unrestrained. Even the gods feared him, for he had obtained boons that made him invincible against their might. The cries of sages, of the oppressed, of the innocent, rose up to the heavens. And in answer, Vishnu himself had chosen to descend, to be born as Rama, to restore balance and protect Dharma. Yet, in Ayodhya, Rama's divine nature was hidden in the sweetness of childhood. He grew as any child would, playing in the courtyards, laughing with his brothers, filling the palace with joy. But even then, there was a majesty in him, a serenity beyond his years. His eyes shone with compassion, his words carried wisdom, and his heart radiated courage. Kaushalya, his mother, would often gaze at him in wonder. She saw in him not only her son, but a light that warmed the entire world. Dashratha, holding the infant in his arms, felt his sorrow vanish. In Rama he saw not only the heir he longed for, but the future of Ayodhya, a future brighter than the sun. The childhood of Rama and his brothers was filled with discipline as well as play. Under the guidance of sages, they began their education. They learned the scriptures, the art of archery, the principles of governance. But more than knowledge, they absorbed values, obedience, humility, self-control, respect. From the very beginning, Rama walked the path of Dharma. He was gentle to the weak, firm against injustice, and always devoted to truth. It is said that the land itself rejoiced in his presence. When Rama smiled, flowers seemed to bloom brighter. When he walked, the very earth felt blessed. He was loved not because he was the son of a king, but because he embodied the qualities that every heart longs for: kindness, courage, and compassion. This is the lesson of his birth. Greatness does not begin in palaces or crowns. Greatness begins in character. Rama was destined to be king, but his true kinship lay in his values. From the moment he opened his eyes, he was being prepared, not for comfort, but for responsibility. Not for luxury, but for sacrifice. And here lies the inspiration for us. We too are born into a world of trials. We too face shadows that seem overwhelming. But just as Rama was prepared by destiny, so too are we. Every hardship you face, every delay, every unanswered prayer, these are not punishments. They are preparation. They are shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, more capable of carrying your purpose. Dashratha's sorrow seemed unbearable, yet it gave rise to Rama. Your struggles may feel endless, yet they may be the soil in which your greatness is taking root. Remember this: Rama was not born to sit upon a throne and bask in praise. He was born to walk into exile, to battle demons, to endure loss, and to rise victorious through it all. Likewise, your life's purpose will not be fulfilled in ease. It will be fulfilled in your trials, in your sacrifices, in your courage. Rama's birth is not merely a story of joy in a palace long ago. It is a reminder to you, today, that no matter how dark your circumstances, destiny is at work. That within you lies a potential far greater than you realize. That greatness does not wait for perfect conditions. It is born in the midst of imperfection, in the cries of struggle, in the silence of waiting. So as you listen to this series, take this as your first lesson from the Ramayana. You are not defined by where you stand today. You are defined by what you are being prepared for. The struggles of today are the seeds of tomorrow's victories. Rama's birth was not only the answer to a king's prayers. It was the promise that Dharma will always rise, no matter how long it takes, no matter how dark the world becomes. When you feel hopeless, remember Ayodhya awaiting an heir. When you feel forgotten, remember Dashratha's sorrow. And when you feel your prayers are unheard, remember the fire ritual that brought forth Rama. For in time, the light always comes. This is the story of Rama's birth. This is the story of destiny preparing greatness. And this is the story of your own life, waiting to unfold if only you walk with faith, patience, and unwavering courage. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that your struggles are preparing you for something greater, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Dharma Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description. Episode 3: Guru and Early Life, Learning Discipline, Archery, and Responsibility. The cries of newborns had long since faded into the sounds of laughter and footsteps echoing across Ayodhya's palaces. Rama and his brothers, Bharata, Lakshmana, and Shatrughna, had grown beyond infancy, their childhood marked not by indulgence but by preparation. For in Ayodhya, the sons of Dashratha were not merely princes destined for luxury. They were heirs to responsibility, guardians of a kingdom, and symbols of hope for generations to come. Even as children, the four brothers were inseparable. Bharata's calm wisdom balanced Lakshmana's fiery spirit. Shatrughna's loyalty kept harmony among them. And Rama, the eldest, carried himself with a grace that even the sages admired. His presence was like the stillness of a river at dawn, calm, yet hiding depths of power. His eyes reflected compassion, but behind them lay a resolve unshakable even in youth. It was customary in those times that even princes were not raised solely within the palace walls. Knowledge was not gifted by birthright. It had to be earned. And so the young Rama and his brothers were entrusted to the care of the revered Guru Vasishtha, the family sage and spiritual guide. The Gurukul was not adorned with marble or gold. It was simple, rooted in the forest, built of humility. Here, the princes awoke before sunrise, bathed in cold waters, and offered prayers as the first light touched the horizon. Their days began not with command, but with service. They gathered wood, drew water, and swept the ashram grounds. princes or not, every student was equal. Rama accepted these duties without complaint. He understood, even as a child, that greatness is not measured in crowns or thrones, but in discipline. In every act of service, his heart grew stronger, his humility deeper. When his hands carried water, he carried it as if serving his people. When he swept the ashram floor, he swept away ego and pride. The education they received under Vasishtha was vast. They studied the Vedas, the sacred hymns that revealed the mysteries of creation. They learned philosophy, the principles of governance, the sciences of time, medicine, and astronomy. They mastered the art of speech, learning to speak truth with clarity, to inspire with words, and to soothe with wisdom. For a king must not only rule by law, he must guide by example. But perhaps the most rigorous of their lessons was in the art of archery. For archery was not merely the skill of bow and arrow, it was the discipline of body, mind, and soul. Rama excelled with the bow as if born with it in his hand. His movements were precise, his focus unbroken. When he drew the string, he became one with the arrow. His aim was never distracted, for he saw beyond the target, he saw the purpose. Lakshmana, ever at Rama's side, matched his brother with fiery determination. His devotion was so strong that even in exhaustion he would not rest unless Rama did. Bharata and Shatrugna too honed their skills, each bringing balance and harmony to the bond they shared. Together, they became not just brothers, but a force united by love, discipline, and responsibility. Yet their training was not limited to skill. It was a training of character. Vasishtha often told them, the strength of a king is not in the weapons he carries, but in the values he lives by. Without truth, your arrows will miss their mark. Without humility, your power will destroy you. Without compassion, your victories will be hollow. Rama absorbed these lessons with reverence. He listened more than he spoke, and when he spoke, his words carried the weight of wisdom beyond his years. He treated his teachers with the same devotion he showed his parents, and his friends with the same respect he gave his brothers. In every act, he was already becoming the Rama the world would one day revere. As the years passed, another sage entered their lives, Vishwamitra, once a mighty king himself, who had renounced his throne to pursue the path of rishihood. Vishwamitra came to Dashratha with a request. Demons were disturbing his yajna, disrupting his spiritual practices, and no ordinary warriors could withstand them. He asked that Rama and Lakshmana accompany him into the forests to protect the sacrifice. Dashratha trembled at the thought. His sons were still young, untested in real battle. How could he send them against demons? Yet Vishwamitra assured him, "Do not doubt, O king. Rama is no ordinary child. He is born for greatness. Trust him, for in him lies the strength of the gods." And so Rama and Lakshmana set out with the sage, their bows in hand, their spirits firm. This journey marked the first step into the wider world, where discipline would be tested by danger. As they walked beside Vishwamitra, he taught them the mantras and astras, celestial weapons bound by divine knowledge. Each mantra, when mastered, could summon the power of the elements: fire, wind, water, lightning. Vishwamitra saw in Rama the perfect vessel for these powers. For Rama did not learn with arrogance. He received each teaching with humility, vowing never to misuse them. The test soon came. The demoness Tataka, fierce and monstrous, terrorized the forests. Her roars shook the trees, her presence struck fear into the hearts of villagers. Vishwamitra pointed to Rama, "This is your trial. Destroy her and free the land from fear." Rama hesitated for a moment, not from fear, but from compassion. She is a woman, he thought. Even if she is a demon, is it right to slay her? Vishwamitra's words cut through his doubt. Dharma does not look at form. To protect the innocent is your duty. Mercy toward the wicked is cruelty toward the weak. Hearing this, Rama steadied his heart. He drew his bow, arrows blazing like fire. With precision and calm, he struck the Taka down. Her terror ended, the forests freed. This was his first victory, not only over a demon, but over doubt within himself. He learned that dharma sometimes demands hard choices, that true compassion means protecting the many even at the cost of the few. From that day, Rama's fame spread, not as a prince of Ayodhya alone, but as a warrior of dharma. Villagers spoke his name with reverence. Sages blessed him. And Lakshmana, ever at his side, shone with equal valor, proving that loyalty itself is a weapon of strength. This chapter of Rama's youth reveals a profound truth. Discipline is not a chain, it is a key. It unlocks the highest potential within us. Rama's greatness was not an accident of birth. It was forged in the fires of discipline, humility, and responsibility. In our own lives, we too face demons. Some are visible, temptations, addictions, distractions. Others are hidden, fear, anger, pride, doubt. Like Rama, we must learn to face them, not with hesitation, but with clarity of purpose. Discipline is our bow, faith is our arrow, and responsibility is our aim. The Gurukul of Vashishta may be far from us in time, but its lessons are eternal. Rise early, serve with humility, speak truth, train your mind and body, respect your teachers, protect the weak. These are not ancient customs, they are the foundations of leadership, the pillars of strength. Every time you resist temptation, you are like Rama refusing arrogance. Every time you act with discipline, you are like Lakshmana standing steadfast. Every time you serve without pride, you are like Bharata bowing to dharma. Every time you protect another, you are like Shatrughna preserving harmony. This is the essence of Rama's early life. The path to greatness is not paved with ease. It is built with discipline, responsibility, and the courage to face trials. As you listen to this, ask yourself, what demons in your life must you face? What discipline must you embrace? What responsibility have you delayed? Rama's journey tells us that no one is too young, too weak, or too ordinary to begin. The path of dharma opens the moment you take your first step with sincerity. Let Rama's childhood remind you, greatness is not born, it is built. And every act of discipline you choose today prepares you for the victories of tomorrow. If this story awakened something within you, if it reminded you of the strength that discipline and responsibility can create, support this journey of dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Dharma Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description. Episode 4, Marriage with Sita, Love as Partnership in Dharma. The years passed, and Rama's name grew in strength and reverence. In the forests, he had shown valor. In the Gurukul, he had shown discipline. In the courts of sages, he had shown humility. Ayodhya rejoiced in the promise of its prince. Yet destiny was preparing a new chapter, one that would not only test Rama's skill but also reveal the meaning of love, not as passion, but as dharma itself. The stage for this chapter was not Ayodhya, but Mithila, the kingdom ruled by King Janaka, a sovereign whose wisdom was spoken of across Bharat. Janaka was no ordinary monarch. He was a philosopher king, a ruler whose heart was devoted not to power, but to truth. His daughter, Sita, was the jewel of his house. Born of the earth itself, she was discovered as an infant when Janaka plowed the fields during a sacred ritual. Pure, radiant, and divine, Sita grew to embody grace, strength, and compassion. Her beauty was unmatched, but her greatness lay not merely in her form, it lay in her soul. She was gentle, yet unyielding in principle. She was soft in speech, yet fierce in her devotion to righteousness. She was, in truth, Rama's equal, though they had not yet met. King Janaka had vowed that Sita would only marry the one who could prove his strength, his discipline, and his worthiness. In his palace rested a bow that no man could string, the bow of Lord Shiva, a relic of immense power. Kings from across the land came to Mithila, each hoping to win Sita's hand by lifting and stringing the bow. Yet one by one, they failed. Even the greatest warriors stumbled before its weight. The bow stood as a silent judge, declaring that true strength was not yet present among them. It was during this time that Vishwamitra brought Rama and Lakshmana to Mithila. Having protected the sage's sacrifice, they now traveled with him to broaden their learning. When Rama entered the city, the people of Mithila felt a presence unlike any they had known. His walk carried humility, yet his bearing radiated majesty. His eyes were soft, yet filled with power. The citizens whispered, "Is this the one destined for our princess?" In the palace courtyard, the challenge was announced. The bow of Shiva was brought forth, massive, shining, revered. The suitors who had once boasted fell silent in its shadow. Rama approached, not with arrogance, but with serenity. He bowed first to the bow itself, honoring the divine. Then, with calmness in his heart, he placed his hands upon it. The weight that had crushed others felt like nothing in Rama's grasp. With a steady breath, he lifted the bow as if it were a garland of flowers. And then, in one fluid motion, he drew the string. The sound that followed was not of string but of thunder. The bow broke in two, echoing across a kingdom, sending shivers through the earth. The court gasped, the kings trembled, and Janaka's eyes filled with awe. For in that moment, the test was complete. Rama had proven not only his strength, but his destiny. Sita entered, her eyes meeting Rama's for the first time. She carried a garland of flowers, her hands trembling not from fear, but from the weight of sacred union. As she stepped toward him, the world itself seemed to pause. For this was not the meeting of two souls, it was the union of dharma and shakti, of righteousness and strength, of purpose and devotion. She placed the garland around Rama's neck, and as she did, their partnership was sealed. The wedding that followed was no ordinary celebration. It was a festival of heaven and earth. The gods themselves are said to have showered flowers from the skies. Sages blessed the union, kings marveled at its majesty, and the people rejoiced as if their own hearts had been wed to hope. Rama and Sita, hand in hand, embodied the highest truth, that marriage is not built upon desire alone, but upon dharma, walking together on the path of righteousness, through ease and through exile, through triumph and through trial. Sita's love for Rama was not the love of dependence. It was the love of strength. She was not a shadow that followed him, but a flame that walked beside him. When Rama chose exile, Sita chose it too, not because she was compelled, but because her dharma was bound to his. When Rama faced despair, Sita's courage was the light that steadied him. In her, we see the power of a partner whose devotion is not blind but awakened, whose love uplifts rather than weakens. Rama's love for Sita was not the love of possession. It was the love of reverence. He saw her not as property, but as his equal, his companion in duty. In every word he spoke to her, there was respect. In every act, there was care. In him, we see the model of a leader who treats love not as ownership, but as partnership. What does this union teach us today? It teaches that true relationships are not built on fleeting attraction or selfish need. They are built on shared purpose, on dharma. Love is not measured in how much you can take from another, but in how much you can walk together toward truth. In our age, relationships often stumble because they are built on desire without discipline, on passion without purpose. The Ramayana shows us another way. A way where love strengthens both souls, where each partner becomes the other's anchor and wings. Sita teaches us that love means standing firm, even in adversity. Rama teaches us that love means honoring and respecting the one beside you. Together, they show us that the highest form of love is partnership in dharma, a union that uplifts the world. Think of your own life. Who stands beside you? Do your relationships lift you closer to truth, or pull you into illusion? Do you treat love as a selfish demand, or as a sacred partnership? To follow the example of Rama and Sita is to make every bond a force of righteousness, every union a step toward dharma. Their marriage was not the end of their trials, it was the beginning. For love tested by comfort is unproven, but love tested by fire becomes eternal. When exile came, Sita walked the forests without hesitation. When abduction came, she endured with dignity. Their union was not fragile, because it was founded not on desire, but on shared dharma. This is the lesson for us. Love that is true will endure storms, because it is rooted in purpose greater than the self. As you reflect on this chapter, let it inspire you to see relationships in a new light. Whether as partners, friends, or family, let your bonds be built on mutual respect, shared values, and devotion to a higher truth. That is the way of Rama and Sita. That is the way of Dharma. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of the power of love as a partnership in truth, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Ramayan Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description. Episode 5, Kaikeyi's Boon, Accepting Challenges Without Complaint. Ayodhya was radiant. Its streets were adorned with flowers, its people rejoiced, and its palace resounded with music and laughter. For King Dashratha, who had once mourned for an heir, life now seemed full. His sons were grown, noble and strong. Rama, in particular, shone like the sun, beloved by the people, admired by sages, and destined for greatness. The time had come to crown him as the heir apparent, the Yuvraja of Ayodhya. Ministers gathered, citizens prepared, and joy overflowed like the Ganga in flood. Rama's coronation was not simply the hope of a father, it was the dream of a kingdom. For the people saw in him not only a prince, but a leader of righteousness, one who would guide them with truth and compassion. Yet destiny, in its mysterious ways, had prepared another test. And this test would not be of weapons or of strength, but of the heart. Dashratha had 3 queens, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. Each loved him, each shared his joys and sorrows. Of them, Kaikeyi had once been his favorite. In youth, she had saved his life on the battlefield, guiding his chariot when enemies rained arrows upon him. Out of gratitude, Dashratha had promised her 2 boons, gifts she could claim at any time. For years she had kept them unused, like arrows waiting in a quiver. But now, as Ayodhya celebrated Rama's coronation, a shadow crept into the palace. Kaikeyi's maid, Manthara, envious and cunning, poisoned her mind with whispers. If Rama is crowned, Kaikeyi, your own son Bharata will be cast aside. You will be forgotten, Kaushalya will rise, and your place will diminish. Why let another take what your son deserves? Kaikeyi wavered. She loved Rama, she loved Dashratha, and yet the poison of fear and pride sank deep. That night she entered the chamber of anger, the Kopa Bhavan, where queens went when grievances consumed them. Lying upon the floor, she cast off her ornaments and waited. When Dashratha came, joyful to share the news of Rama's coronation, he found her cold and distant. Alarmed, he asked, "What troubles you, my queen?" Kaikeyi reminded him of the boons he had promised. The king, smiling, assured her she could ask anything, wealth, jewels, lands. But her request was a thunderbolt. First boon, let Bharata be crowned king. Second boon, let Rama be exiled to the forest for 14 years. Dashratha's heart shattered. He staggered, struck as though by a weapon. His lips trembled. His voice broke. You speak of my death, Kaikeyi. What crime has Rama committed? Why would you tear the heart from my chest? But Kaikeyi was resolute, her heart hardened by Manthara's words. You are a king. bound by your promise. If you do not grant this, your word is meaningless." All night the king wept, pleading, begging, cursing his fate. He tried to sway her, to remind her of Rama's virtues, of his love for Bharata. But Kaikeyi did not yield. And as dawn approached, the king lay broken, unable to move, crushed by his own vow. The news spread through the palace like fire through dry grass. Ministers whispered, servants wept, and the air grew heavy with sorrow. And then came Rama. Summoned to his father's chamber, he entered with calm dignity, his face serene. He saw Dashratha trembling, unable to speak, his tears falling like rain. He saw Kaikeyi, firm and unyielding. And he asked with gentle voice, "What troubles my father? Why does my mother look so stern?" Kaikeyi told him everything. She did not soften her words. She spoke of the two boons, of Bharata's coronation, of Rama's exile for 14 years. The room fell silent. Dashratha's sobs echoed like thunder. The court itself seemed to hold its breath. And Rama smiled. Not the smile of arrogance, nor of defiance, but the calm smile of one who accepts destiny. He bowed before Kaikeyi, touched her feet, and said, "So be it. If this pleases you, O mother, then I accept. If this fulfills the promise of my father, then it is my duty." What greater honor can a son have than to uphold his father's word? The court gasped. Ministers who had expected protest wept at his composure. Dashratha tried to rise, crying, "No, my son, I cannot bear it. Without you, I shall die." But Rama placed his hands upon his father's head, soothing him. "Father, your word is dharma. If I must go, I go with joy. Do not grieve, for I carry your honor with me." This is the greatness of Rama. To him, exile was not punishment, but duty. Where others saw loss, he saw opportunity, to uphold truth, to prove dharma, to protect the sanctity of a promise. In that moment, Rama revealed the heart of leadership, that the ruler's path is not comfort, but sacrifice. When Sita heard of the exile, she too resolved to follow him. "Wherever you go, I go," she said. "Your dharma is my dharma. The forest shall be my palace, your exile my joy." Lakshmana too declared he would never leave Rama's side. Thus, in sorrow was born a bond even stronger than before, of family walking together into trial. What does this episode teach us? It teaches that life will not always honor our plans. Joy can turn to sorrow in a single night. Promises can break us. The people we love may betray us, or fall prey to fear. Yet in such moments, greatness is measured not in resistance, but in acceptance. Rama did not complain. He did not argue. He did not curse Kaikeyi, nor blame fate. He accepted with dignity, showing the world that even the harshest blow can be met with calmness. His strength was not in the sword, but in the serenity of his heart. In our own lives, we too face exiles, moments when what we hoped for is denied, when doors close, when betrayal strikes, when dreams collapse. Most of us protest, rage, or sink into despair. But Rama shows another way: accept with grace, walk forward with dignity, and let trials become training. Kaikeyi's boon seemed like a curse, but it was the beginning of Rama's true greatness. For had he remained in Ayodhya, perhaps his life would have been easy, but it would not have become immortal. It was exile that revealed his leadership. It was hardship that revealed his strength. It was loss that revealed his compassion. So too in our lives, the very trials we resist may be the doors to our destiny. The disappointments we curse may be the preparation for our victories. To accept them with calmness is to transform pain into power. Dashratha's sorrow soon ended his life. The king who could conquer armies could not endure separation from his beloved son. Yet Rama walked forward, not weighed by grief, but lifted by duty. He carried not only his father's honor, but the hopes of his people, into the wilderness of destiny. This is the lesson of Kaikeyi's boon. Life will demand sacrifices. Duty will demand obedience. And sometimes, the cost will seem unbearable. But if we accept with dignity, if we face exile without complaint, we awaken within ourselves the true strength of kingship. As you listen to this, reflect on your own life. What hardship are you resisting? What exile are you afraid to walk into? Remember Rama. Smile at fate, even when it strikes. Walk with calmness, even when the road darkens. For in the end, it is not comfort that makes you great, it is sacrifice. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of the power of acceptance and the dignity of sacrifice, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Ramayan Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description.
Episode 6 Exile begins, Resilience and Dignity in Sacrifice. The coronation that Ayodhya had awaited with songs and garlands never came. Instead, the city was draped in sorrow. Rama, once prepared to ascend the throne, now prepared to walk into exile. The people wept openly, their voices rising in protest, but Rama's face shone with serenity. For to him, exile was not disgrace, but duty. He entered Kausalya's chambers to bid farewell. His mother, who had dreamed of seeing her son crowned king, now broke into tears. How can I live without you, my child? 14 years without seeing your face is death itself. Rama bowed at her feet and spoke gently, Mother, do not grieve. A son's duty is to uphold his father's word. If I go with joy, for in my exile lies the honor of our house. Think not of loss, but of dharma fulfilled. Kausalya wept, yet seeing Rama's calmness, she steadied her heart. She realized her son was not leaving in despair, but walking in dignity. Next came Sita. Many advised her to stay in the palace, to live in comfort until Rama's return. But her voice was firm, her eyes unwavering, Where you go, I go. The forest shall be my palace, your exile my joy. Do not think I am fragile, Rama. I was born to walk beside you, in ease and in hardship alike. Her words revealed the true power of love, not in clinging to comfort, but in sharing sacrifice. Then came Lakshmana, fierce and devoted. He declared, Brother, where you tread, I tread. I will guard you and Sita in the forest, I will serve you with every breath. Do not think of me as separate from you. Such was his loyalty that he refused to let Rama walk alone, proving that true devotion is not in words, but in companionship through trial. Thus the three set forth, Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana, leaving the palace behind, their faces calm, their spirits unshaken. The people of Ayodhya could not bear it. They followed in great crowds, weeping, pleading, Do not leave us, Rama. Without you, our city is empty. You are our king, even if you wear no crown. But Rama, ever firm, turned to them and said, Go back, my beloved people. Do not grieve, for a king's duty is not only to rule but to uphold dharma. If I abandon my father's word, what example do I set? Let me go, and when I return, I will serve you with greater love. His words struck their hearts like arrows, for they saw that his greatness was not in seizing power, but in sacrificing it. As they crossed the rivers and forests, the exiles reached the banks of the Ganga. There stood Guha, chief of the Nishadas, who loved Rama as a brother. He fell at Rama's feet, weeping, Stay with me, O prince. My kingdom is yours, my home your shelter. Do not wander like an ascetic. But Rama smiled, embracing him. O Guha, your love is my wealth. Yet my vow is my path. I cannot break it. So Guha ferried them across the sacred river, tears falling as his boat carried away the dearest of friends. The journey brought them to the ashram of sage Bharadwaja, and then to Chitrakoot, a forest of beauty, where rivers sang and trees stood tall. There, Rama built a simple hut of leaves and branches. To the world it was a hut, but to him it was a palace of peace. For happiness, he knew, is not in gold but in contentment. Meanwhile, back in Ayodhya, Bharat returned from his maternal uncle's house, only to find the palace shrouded in mourning. His father, Dasharatha, had died of grief, unable to endure separation from Rama. When Bharat learned the truth, that his mother Kaikeyi had demanded Rama's exile to secure his crown, his heart broke. He rejected the throne, cursed his mother's actions, and declared, I will not rule while Rama wanders in exile. He alone is king, I am but his servant. With ministers, sages, and citizens, Bharat set out to the forest, determined to bring Rama back. When the brothers met, their embrace was filled with tears. Bharat pleaded, "Return, my brother. Rule Ayodhya. I do not want the crown. The people do not want me. Only you can lead them." But Rama stood firm, "No, Bharat. Our father gave his word, and I must honor it. A son who breaks his father's promise is no son at all. Let me walk my path. Return and serve as guardian of Ayodhya in my absence." Bharat wept, but seeing Rama's resolve, he placed Rama's sandals upon the throne, saying, "I will not rule as king. I will serve as regent, until you return. These sandals will sit upon the throne as the symbol of your authority." Such was Bharat's humility that he lived not as king but as caretaker, waiting for Rama's return, keeping the kingdom in trust for his brother. This chapter of the Ramayana teaches us one of its greatest lessons: resilience in sacrifice. Rama lost his crown, his father, and his home, yet he did not lose his dignity. Sita lost her comforts, yet she did not lose her devotion. Lakshmana gave up ease, yet he did not lose his loyalty. Bharat gave up power, yet he did not lose his humility. Each one shows us that sacrifice is not weakness, it is strength. True resilience is not merely surviving hardship, but embracing it with dignity. In our lives too, we face exiles. Sometimes it is the loss of a job, the betrayal of trust, the collapse of plans we cherished. We feel as though we have been cast out of the palace into the wilderness. In those moments, the easy path is complaint, despair, and bitterness. But Rama shows us another way: accept, endure, and walk forward with calmness. Exile is not the end, it is the forge of greatness. It was in the forest that Rama's leadership grew, that his bonds deepened, that his true strength emerged. Likewise, our trials are not curses but classrooms, shaping us into who we are meant to become. When life takes away your comforts, remember Sita in the hut of leaves. When duty demands your sacrifice ambition, remember Rama smiling as he walked into the forest. When loyalty tempts you to falter, remember Lakshmana refusing to leave his brother's side. When pride whispers for power, remember Bharat placing sandals upon the throne. These are not stories of the past, they are mirrors of our present. They remind us that resilience is not simply enduring trials, but walking through them with grace. The exile of Rama is not only the tale of a prince cast into the forest. It is the reminder that every hardship can be faced with dignity. That every sacrifice, when embraced with courage, becomes the path to greatness. If this story inspired you, if it reminded you that resilience and dignity can transform exile into triumph, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Ramayan vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description.
Episode 7: Sarpanika and the Golden Deer. Dangers of Illusion and Desire. The forests of Dandaka stretched vast and untamed, filled with the cries of birds, the rustling of trees, and the shadows of unseen dangers. It was here that Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana made their dwelling, a simple hut of leaves. Their days were marked by simplicity, gathering fruit, offering prayers, walking under the canopy of the great trees. Yet even in the wilderness, their lives were radiant with dignity. But the forest was not empty. Beyond the rivers and hills, Rakshasas, demons of fearsome power, roamed freely, disturbing the sages and threatening the innocent. Among them was Sarpanika, sister of the mighty Ravana. She was fierce, cunning, and restless, wandering the forests in search of satisfaction. One day, as she came upon Rama's dwelling, she saw him. His form shone like a pillar of light, his face calm, his eyes deep with compassion and strength. For a moment, desire seized her heart. She approached him boldly, casting aside all shame, and said, "O Rama, you are the most handsome man I have ever seen. Your wife is unworthy of you. Leave her, and take me instead. I will serve you, I will give you pleasure, I will make you master of the world." Rama smiled gently, but firmly. "O lady, your words are misplaced. I am bound to Sita, my wife. Love is not for barter, nor loyalty for exchange. Go to Lakshmana, he is young and unmarried. Perhaps he will accept you." Sarpanika turned to Lakshmana, but he too laughed. "I am Rama's servant. How can I accept you when he has not? Return to your own kind, for this path is not for you." Humiliated, her desire turned to fury. Her eyes burned with rage. She rushed at Sita, claws extended, intending to harm her. But Lakshmana, swift as lightning, drew his blade and struck, cutting off her nose and ears. Sarpanika shrieked in pain, her cries echoing through the forest as she fled, bloodied and vengeful. Her humiliation was not silent. She ran to her brothers, Kara and Dushana, mighty Rakshasas who ruled nearby. Enraged by her tale, they gathered armies to destroy Rama. Yet when they attacked, Rama stood firm. With his bow, he struck down thousands, his arrows flying like fire, his calm unbroken. Kara and Dushana fell, their strength no match for Dharma guided by discipline. But Sarpanika's revenge was not complete. Her wounded pride drove her further, to Lanka, to her brother Ravana, king of demons. And thus began the chain of events that would lead to one of the most pivotal trials of the Ramayan. Not long after, as the days passed in peace, a golden deer appeared near the hut. Its form glistened like molten gold, its eyes sparkled like jewels, its movements entrancing. It leapt gracefully, drawing Sita's gaze. She turned to Rama and said, "My lord, I have never seen such beauty in the forest. If we could capture it, it would bring delight. Please, fetch it for me." Rama looked upon the deer, and though his heart was wise, his love for Sita was deep. "Very well," he said, "I will pursue it. But beware, Sita, this forest is full of deceit. Stay within, and let Lakshmana guard you." He set forth, chasing the golden form through the trees. Yet the deer was no deer, it was Maricha, a Rakshasa in disguise, sent by Ravana to lure Rama away. Rama pursued, the deer darting further, shimmering like illusion itself. At last, Rama struck it down with an arrow. As it fell, Maricha cried out in Rama's voice, "Lakshmana! Sita, help me!" His cry, though false, pierced the air like a blade. Back at the hut, Sita heard the cry and trembled. "Lakshmana, your brother is in danger. Go to him at once." Lakshmana shook his head. "No, noble Sita, I know my brother's strength. No force in this forest can harm him. That cry was not his, it is deceit." But fear clouded Sita's heart. Her love turned to anguish. "Do you not care for your brother? Will you let him perish while you stand idle? Perhaps you wish him gone, so that you may claim me for yourself." Lakshmana's heart shattered at her words. With folded hands, he said, "I go, though my soul trembles at leaving you unguarded. May the gods protect you." And with that, he departed into the forest. The trap was complete. With Rama and Lakshmana away, Ravana approached. But that tale belongs to the next chapter. Here, we pause to reflect on the lessons hidden in these events. Sarpanika represents uncontrolled desire. Desire that blinds judgment, that turns love into obsession, and obsession into rage. When rejected, she sought to destroy what she could not possess. In her fall, we see how lust without restraint becomes destruction. The golden deer represents illusion, the glittering promises of the world that seem beautiful, yet hide danger. Sita's request was not wrong, her desire was innocent, but unchecked desire opened the door to disaster. Even love, when blinded by longing, can lead us astray. Maricha's cry represents deception, the voice of illusion that mimics truth. How often in our lives do we hear false voices, fears disguised as truth, temptations disguised as needs? Lakshmana knew the cry was false, yet even he was forced by emotion to leave his duty. It reminds us that even the wise can stumble when pressed by the voices of fear and doubt. The lesson is clear: desire, illusion, and deception are the greatest weapons of adharma. They do not attack openly with swords and arrows. They enter quietly through the heart, through temptation, through longing, through fear, and when they succeed, even the strongest can falter. In our lives, Sarpanika is the temptation that seeks to distract us from truth. The golden deer is the glittering illusion of wealth, pleasure, or recognition that draws us from our path. Maricha's cry is the voice of fear that convinces us to abandon wisdom. Each one leads us away from Dharma, away from duty, away from peace. The path of Rama teaches us vigilance. To see beauty, but not be blinded by it. To feel desire, but not let it master us. To hear fear, but not let it dictate our choices. True strength is not in denying desire, but in mastering it. Not in rejecting beauty, but in discerning truth. Rama pursued the deer not out of weakness, but out of love. Sita longed for it not out of greed, but out of innocence. Lakshmana left not out of folly, but out of devotion. Yet even the noblest hearts can stumble when illusion and fear intertwine. That is why vigilance is eternal. So ask yourself, what is your golden deer? What illusion glitters before your eyes, drawing you from your true path? What false voice cries out, luring you away from your duty? And when temptation whispers, will you see through it, or will you be deceived? The story of Sarpanika and the golden deer is not an ancient tale alone. It is the daily battle of every soul. To master it is to walk the path of Dharma. To fail is to open the door to suffering. As you reflect, remember, not every glitter is gold. Not every voice is truth. Not every desire is Dharma. Wisdom lies in discernment, and strength lies in restraint. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you to master desire and see through illusion, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Ramayan Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description.
Episode 8, Abduction of Sita, Staying Strong in the Darkest Hour. The forest lay silent after the cry of Maricha faded into the distance. Rama pursued, Lakshmana followed, and Sita remained alone in the hut of leaves. The air was still, yet her heart trembled. For even in moments of peace, destiny often prepares the storm. As she waited, a figure approached. At first glance he seemed a wandering sage, clothed in saffron robes, his voice soft with a chant of mantras. He stood at the doorway of the hut and called out, "O noble lady, who are you who shines like the goddess of fortune, dwelling here in this forest? Why do you remain in this hut, when your beauty deserves a palace?" Sita, taught always to honor sages, stepped forward and welcomed him with courtesy. "I'm Sita, daughter of Janaka, wife of Rama of Ayodhya. We dwell here by choice, upholding the Dharma, walking the path of sacrifice." The sage smiled, but his smile was a mask. For this was no ascetic, but Ravana, king of Lanka, disguised to deceive. His heart, inflamed with desire and vengeance, had long sought Sita. Hearing Shurpanakha's tale, seeing her beauty described, he resolved to claim her for himself. Dropping the mask of piety, Ravana revealed his true form, towering and terrible, 10-headed and crowned with arrogance. His voice thundered, "I am Ravana, Lord of Lanka, conqueror of worlds. Come with me, O Sita. Leave this forest hut and be queen beside me. My palaces shine with gold, my kingdom stretches across the seas. Why waste your youth in hardship, when you could reign in glory?" Sita's eyes did not waver. Her voice, calm and resolute, cut sharper than any blade. "O Ravana, you speak as a king, yet you act as a thief. Do you not know who Rama is? He is the lion before whom jackals flee, the sun before whom shadows vanish. You offer me gold, yet I am wealthier in the leaves of this hut than in all your palaces. You speak of desire, but I am bound by love greater than fear, greater than death. Your words are poison, your promises dust. I will never leave Rama's side, not in life, not in eternity." Her defiance enraged Ravana. His pride could not bear rejection. With a roar he seized her, lifting her into his chariot drawn by demons. Sita cried out, her voice carrying through the forest, "Rama! Lakshmana! O protectors of Dharma, hear me!" But the brothers were far, deceived by Maricha's final act. As the chariot soared through the skies, the forest itself rose in protest. Trees shuddered, rivers roared, birds shrieked. The very earth trembled at this violation of dharma. Yet Sita was not helpless. Even in despair, she kept her mind sharp. As Ravana sped across the skies, she tore off her ornaments and cast them down, scattering them upon the earth as signs, as a trail for Rama to follow. Each jewel was a beacon of hope, a silent cry, "I am taken, but I am not lost. Find me." In her captivity, she showed courage beyond measure. She did not faint, she did not surrender, she did not beg. She used her wisdom, planting seeds of her own rescue, proving that even when stripped of freedom, one can still act with strength. Along the way, an aged vulture rose into the sky, Jatayu, friend of Dashratha, guardian of the forest. Seeing Sita in distress, he swooped down upon Ravana's chariot, striking with talons and wings, roaring defiance, "O Ravana, release her! How dare you steal another's wife? Return her, or face my wrath." The battle was fierce. Jatayu, though old, fought with the fury of righteousness. He struck Ravana's chariot, broke its flag, and tore at its steeds. But Ravana, mighty in strength, drew his blade and cut down the noble bird. Jatayu fell, his wings torn, his body broken, yet his spirit unyielding. With his last breath, he cried to Sita, "Do not despair, daughter. Rama will come. Rama will find you." Sita wept for the fallen hero, blessing him as a father. His sacrifice was not in vain, for he had slowed Ravana's flight and borne witness to truth. At last Ravana carried her across the ocean to Lanka, his golden city rising from the waves. He placed her in the Ashoka grove, surrounded by demonesses, guarded and watched. Yet even in captivity, Sita stood tall. She refused his words, rejected his threats, and endured his temptations. "I am Rama's," she declared, "and no force in the world can break that bond." This was her darkest hour, taken from her husband, imprisoned in a foreign land, surrounded by enemies. Yet she did not break. Her courage became her weapon, her dignity her shield, her faith her fortress. Meanwhile, Rama and Lakshmana, returning to the hut, found it empty. The ornaments of Sita lay scattered upon the ground, each jewel piercing Rama's heart. His cry shook the forest, "Sita! Sita!" For the first time, the unshakable Rama wept, grief-stricken, his heart torn. Yet even in his despair, he did not curse dharma, nor abandon duty. He vowed to search the ends of the earth, to cross oceans, to face armies, until he found her again. This episode, though filled with sorrow, carries one of the greatest lessons of the Ramayana, that in the darkest hour, strength is not the absence of pain, but the refusal to surrender to it. Sita teaches us that captivity need not mean defeat. Even when bound, her spirit was free. Even when threatened, her dignity stood unbroken. True strength is not always in the sword, it is in the soul that refuses to bow. Jatayu teaches us that no sacrifice is wasted. Though his body fell, his courage lit the path for Rama. In his death, he proved that righteousness is greater than life itself. Rama teaches us that even the strongest may grieve, but grief is not weakness. To cry is human, but to rise after tears is divine. In his despair, he found resolve. In his loss, he found purpose. And what of Ravana? He teaches us that power without dharma is destruction. His arrogance blinded him, his desire enslaved him, his pride sealed his fate. For though he held Sita in captivity, he had already sown the seeds of his own ruin. In our lives, we too face abductions, not of body, but of spirit. Our peace is stolen by fear, our dignity threatened by pressure, our joy taken by betrayal. We feel alone, captive in circumstances we cannot control. Yet Sita shows us that even in the cage, the soul can remain free. Even in despair, hope can be planted. Even in loss, dignity can triumph. Ask yourself, when life takes what you love, when darkness surrounds you, Will you collapse, or will you endure? Will you surrender, or will you scatter jewels of faith along the way, so that the light of hope never dies? The abduction of Sita is not just the turning point of the Ramayan, it is the turning point of the human soul. For it teaches that the measure of greatness is not how we live in joy, but how we stand in sorrow. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that strength is found in the darkest hour, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Ramayan Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description. Episode 9, Rama's Despair and Hanuman's Rise, How True Allies Emerge in Hardship. The forest echoed with Rama's cries, "Sita! Sita!" His voice carried through the trees, shaking the very air, a cry of anguish from a heart torn apart. The ornaments she had cast down lay in his hands, silent, shining witnesses to her abduction. Rama, who had faced demons with unshakable calm, now trembled with grief. Lakshmana, too, wept, though he stood firm beside his brother. "Do not despair, Rama," he said softly. "We will search every forest, every riverbank, every mountain until we find her. Not even the gods can hide her from you." But Rama, overwhelmed, sank into sorrow. He roamed the forest like a man possessed, questioning trees, rivers, and animals as though they could answer. "O trees, have you seen Sita? O river, did your waves carry her voice? O deer, O birds, where is she?" His grief was so deep that the forest itself seemed to grieve with him. In this darkest hour, a faint glimmer of hope appeared. As Rama and Lakshmana wandered, they came upon the dying form of Jatayu, the noble vulture who had fought Ravana with all his might. His wings were torn, his body broken, but his spirit burned bright. With his final breath he whispered, "Ravana, Lanka, southward, seek her there." Then he fell silent, his soul ascending. Rama wept and embraced him, saying, "O Jatayu, you gave your life for Dharma. No father could have done more. May your sacrifice be remembered forever." They performed his last rites with honor, treating him as a father. Jatayu's sacrifice reminded them that even in despair, there are allies who give everything for truth. Further south, fate led them to another being, the mighty Kabandha, a demon cursed with a monstrous form. Though Rama and Lakshmana fought and slew him, his soul, freed from the curse, revealed guidance. "Seek Sugriv, king of the Vanaros, on Mount Rishyamukha. In him you will find an ally, and through him, the path to Sita." Thus destiny guided Rama not by chance, but by purpose. For in despair, true allies emerge. On Mount Rishyamukha, amidst caves and forests, dwelt Sugriv, the exiled king of the Vanaros. His brother, Vali, had driven him from his throne and taken his wife. Sugriv lived in fear, hiding with his few loyal companions. Yet when Rama approached, Sugriv saw in him not only a warrior, but a reflection of his own suffering. For Sugriv too had lost, had been betrayed, had wandered in exile. At their meeting, Sugriv welcomed Rama with humility. "I am but a Vanar, a monkey king without a kingdom. Who are you, radiant as the sun, wandering these forests in sorrow?" Rama replied with honesty, "I am Rama of Ayodhya. My wife, Sita, has been stolen by Ravana. I seek her with no army, no allies, only the hope that Dharma will guide me." Sugriv clasped his hands. "Then let us make a bond. You aid me against Vali, and I shall aid you in your search for Sita. Let us stand together, for in unity lies strength." Rama agreed, and their bond was sealed with sacred fire. But among Sugriv's companions was one whose destiny was greater than all, the son of the wind, Hanuman. His form was that of a Vanar, but his spirit was divine. His eyes shone with intelligence, his words carried wisdom, his heart burned with devotion. When he first approached Rama, disguised in humble form, he spoke with such reverence that Rama turned to Lakshmana and said, "Have you ever heard speech so noble? He is no ordinary being. In him lies the strength of mountains and the purity of the wind." Hanuman, upon meeting Rama, felt his soul ignite. From the moment his eyes fell upon him, his heart knew, "This is my Lord. My life's purpose is to serve him." In that instant, devotion replaced doubt, loyalty replaced fear, and his destiny was bound to Rama forever. Together, Rama and Sugriva set forth to restore justice. With Rama's arrow, Vali was struck down, and Sugriva reclaimed his throne. True to his word, Sugriva assembled his armies of Vanaras, legions of monkeys who leapt from tree to tree, their hearts full of energy, their strength unmatched. Among them, Hanuman stood foremost, the jewel of devotion. Yet when the armies gathered to search for Sita, it was Hanuman who emerged as the true leader. For though many had strength, only he had the faith that could cross oceans, the courage that could defy fear, the devotion that could move mountains. Rama placed in Hanuman's hands his ring, a symbol of truth, and said, "Find her, O Hanuman. Show her this ring, and she will know that hope still lives." Hanuman bowed, his heart overflowing with love. "My Lord, I am yours. Command me, and I shall leap across the seas, search every corner of the earth, and return only when Sita is found." Here we see the turning of the tide. Rama's despair was deep, but in that despair, allies emerged. Jatayu gave his life. Sugriva offered his armies. And Hanuman, the embodiment of devotion, rose as the bridge between loss and victory. The lesson of this chapter is profound. When darkness surrounds us, when grief consumes us, we often feel alone. But it is in those very moments that true allies appear. Not the fair weather friends of comfort, but the companions forged in hardship, who stand beside us when the world turns away. Rama shows us that even the greatest can fall into despair. To weep is human. To cry out in anguish is no shame. But to remain there is weakness. He rose from despair, accepted the sacrifices of others, and built alliances that would lead him to victory. Hanuman shows us the power of devotion. His greatness was not in his strength alone, but in his heart. He sought nothing for himself, no throne, no glory, no reward. His joy was in service, his power in humility, his courage in love. Such devotion transforms the impossible into the inevitable. And for us, the lesson is clear: despair will visit every life. We will lose, we will grieve, we will cry out in darkness. But those who endure with faith will find allies rising beside them, friends, mentors, companions who reveal themselves only when the night is deepest. Ask yourself, who are the true allies in your life? Who stands beside you when you have nothing to offer but sorrow? Cherish them, for they are the Hanumans sent by destiny to carry you through. And ask yourself too, can you be such an ally for another? Can you rise in their hour of despair, offering not judgment, but devotion? To do so is to live the spirit of Hanuman. The story of Rama's despair and Hanuman's rise is the story of hope reborn. It tells us that no darkness is final, no loss absolute. For when devotion awakens, when allies unite, even oceans can be crossed. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that true allies emerge in hardship, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Ramayan Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description. Episode 1 Introduction: Why the Ramayan is the Eternal Guide. On the banks of the Tamasha River, in an age when sages roamed the forests in search of truth, a man sat in stillness. His name was Valmiki. Once a wanderer entangled in the illusions of the world, he was transformed by the power of devotion into a sage whose words would outlive kingdoms and empires. From his heart, like a sacred flame, arose the Ramayan. The Ramayana is more than an epic. It is the heartbeat of Dharma, the living essence of truth, courage, sacrifice, and love. It is not a tale written for entertainment, it is a map for life. It tells us not only who Rama was, but who we can become. It shows us not just Ayodhya's triumphs and tragedies, but the battlefield within our own souls. It is a scripture that breathes, guiding us across centuries, whispering into the ears of each new generation, "Rise, walk the path of righteousness, and never fear." Why is the Ramayana eternal? Because it speaks of the struggles that do not change. Kingdoms rise and fall, technology evolves, languages shift, but the questions of the human heart remain the same. How does one remain true in the face of temptation? How does one uphold loyalty when betrayed? How does one endure exile, loss, and despair, yet continue to walk with dignity? These are not the questions of one era, they are the questions of life itself. The Ramayana is the answer. When we think of Rama, we often imagine perfection, a prince born divine, the ideal son, the perfect king. But if we listen deeply, we see something even greater. Rama was tested, again and again, in ways most of us cannot imagine. He lost his kingdom at the height of his youth. He was exiled to the forest for 14 years. His beloved wife was taken from him by deceit. His battles were not just against demons outside, but the storms of grief and duty within his own heart. What made Rama extraordinary was not that he avoided hardship, but that he endured hardship with unshakable dharma. Greatness is not born in ease. Greatness is forged in fire. In Rama's calm acceptance of exile, we learn that dignity is greater than complaint. In his grief at Sita's abduction, we learn that even the strongest may break, but breaking is not the end, it is the beginning of deeper strength. In his leadership over armies of Vanaros, we learn that unity can build bridges across oceans. And in his battle against Ravana, we see that courage and justice, when united, can overcome the most terrifying darkness. The Ramayana is not about gods seated high above humanity. It is about the human journey toward godliness. It is about men and women who chose dharma when desire called, who chose service when selfishness tempted, who chose sacrifice when comfort beckoned. Each character is a mirror, reflecting something of ourselves. Sita shows us the unbreakable strength of dignity. She was born from the earth itself, and she returned to the earth with the same purity with which she lived. Captive in Ravana's palace, surrounded by temptation, she remained untouched. Her strength did not come from weapons or armies, but from the fire of her soul. She teaches us that true freedom is not about circumstances, but about character. Hanuman, the son of the wind, shows us what devotion truly means. His leap across the ocean was not a feat of muscle alone, but of faith. His power came not from pride, but from surrender. By forgetting himself and remembering only Rama, he accomplished the impossible. Hanuman teaches us that when we remove ego and align with a higher purpose, even the mightiest obstacles fall like dust. Lakshman, Rama's brother, shows us what loyalty and discipline mean. For 14 years he walked beside Rama in exile, never once wavering, never once seeking comfort. His life teaches us that true service is not loud, it is silent and steadfast. Bharata, who refused the throne in Rama's absence, shows us humility. He could have ruled, but instead he placed Rama's sandals upon the throne, ruling only as Rama's representative. His sacrifice teaches us that true leadership is not about power, but about preserving dharma. Even Ravana teaches us. For though he was a tyrant, he was also a scholar, a master of the Vedas, a devotee of Shiva. His fall was not because of ignorance, but because of arrogance. He reminds us that knowledge without humility is a path to destruction. This is why the Ramayana is eternal. It is not about one man or one kingdom. It is about the eternal choice between dharma and adharma, truth and falsehood, humility and arrogance, sacrifice and selfishness. Every human being, in every age, must make these choices. And the Ramayan stands as a guide, showing us that though the path is difficult, it leads to victory. Today, we live in a world of speed and distraction. Technology connects us, but it also scatters our minds. We chase after wealth, status, and comfort, yet still feel empty. The Ramayan calls us back to the essence. It reminds us that the measure of life is not in possessions, but in character. It tells us that leadership is not about ruling others, but about ruling oneself. It teaches that love is not mere passion, but a partnership in dharma. And it reminds us that no matter how powerful evil appears, it cannot stand forever against truth. The story of Rama is not meant to remain on dusty pages. It is meant to live within us. When you rise each morning and face challenges at work or at home, remember Rama walking calmly into exile, leaving behind a throne without complaint. When you feel weak and unworthy, remember Hanuman discovering his boundless power the moment he remembered Rama. When you are tempted by illusions that glitter, remember Sita turning away from the golden deer. When you feel betrayed or broken, remember Bharata refusing the throne in loyalty to his brother. The Ramayan tells us, you are not ordinary. You are born for dharma. You are meant to rise, to lead, to endure, and to triumph. As we begin this journey through the Ramayan, understand this: it is not a tale that ended thousands of years ago. It is alive. It lives in your struggles, your decisions, your sacrifices, and your victories. Each episode we walk through together will not only recount the journey of Rama, but reveal the lessons you can apply today. The first step is to open your heart. Listen not only with your ears, but with your soul. As Valmiki sung the verses of the Ramayan, sages, kings, and common people alike wept, because they saw themselves in its story. Let it touch you the same way. Let it remind you of the fire you carry within, the fire of courage, of dignity, of service, and of truth. For in the end, the Ramayan is not only about Rama. It is about you. If this message touched your heart, if it reminded you of your strength and purpose, then walk with us on this journey. Support this path of dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Dharma Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description. Episode 10, Hanuman's Leap and the Lanka Mission, Faith that Moves Mountains. The Vanar armies stretched across the hills and valleys, thousands upon thousands gathered under Sugriva's command. Their voices filled the forests as they prepared for the greatest mission of their age, to find Sita, the queen of Ayodhya, stolen by Ravana and hidden somewhere in the vast world. Groups were dispatched to the north, east, and west. But it was to the south that the most faithful party went, for destiny whispered that Sita lay across the ocean. In that party were Angada, Jambavan the wise bear, and foremost among them all, Hanuman, son of the wind. Days passed as they searched. They scoured mountains and forests, valleys and rivers, but Sita was nowhere to be found. Exhaustion gripped them, and despair crept into their hearts. At last they came to the shore of the great southern ocean. There, endless waves pounded against the land, as though mocking their weakness. Beyond the sea lay Lanka, Ravana's golden city, rising like a jewel from the waters. The Vanaras stood in silence, their eyes on the horizon. Who among us, they asked, can cross this vast ocean? Who has the strength to leap across its waves and return alive? One by one, they spoke of their abilities, but each admitted his limits. Some could leap 100 yojanas, others 200, but none could match the distance required. Their hope faltered. Then Jambavan, ancient and wise, turned to Hanuman. Why do you stand silent, O son of the wind? Do you not remember who you are? Hanuman lowered his head. I am strong, yes, but I have never seen myself as more than a servant. I leap trees and mountains, but this ocean, it is beyond me. Jambavan's voice thundered with encouragement. You are greater than you know. You were born of the wind, swift and mighty. As a child, you leapt at the sun, mistaking it for a fruit, and only the gods could restrain you. Your power is limitless, but in your humility you have forgotten it. Awaken, O Hanuman. Remember your strength. For today, all hope rests upon you. Something stirred in Hanuman's heart. The words of Jambavan ignited a fire long hidden. He closed his eyes and remembered. He remembered the boundless energy of his youth, the blessings of the gods, the wind that flowed in his veins. And as he remembered, his body began to grow, taller, broader, mightier. His form expanded until he towered over the Vanaros, radiant as a mountain, eyes blazing like fire. With a roar that shook the heavens, Hanuman declared, I will go. I will leap this ocean, cross to Lanka, and find Sita. Neither wind nor wave, neither demon nor death, can stop me. By Rama's name, I will succeed. The Vanaros cheered, their despair transformed into awe. Hope returned, not because the ocean had shrunk, but because one soul had risen to meet it. Hanuman ascended Mount Mahendra, its peak touching the clouds. He stood upon the summit, his gaze fixed on the far shore. Folding his hands, he prayed, O Rama, give me your strength. O wind, my father, carry me. O gods, bless my leap. Then, bending low, he gathered his might, his muscles coiled like thunder, his spirit aflame. With a roar that split the sky, he leapt. The earth trembled at his takeoff, trees were uprooted, rocks shattered. Through the air he soared, a comet of devotion, his body stretched across the heavens, his shadow darkening the waves below. The ocean, astonished, rose in waves to honor him. The mountains lifted their peaks in salute. The gods looked down in wonder, saying, Behold, the power of faith. As he flew, challenges arose. The ocean itself, seeking to honor Rama, sent forth a mountain called Mainaka, rising from the depths. Rest upon me, O Hanuman, it said. Take food, regain strength. But Hanuman shook his head. I cannot pause until my mission is complete. He touched the mountain lightly with his hand and soared onward, showing that true devotion does not linger in comfort when duty calls. Next came Surasa, mother of serpents, who rose from the waters to test him. The god's command, she said, that you pass only through my mouth. Her jaws opened wide, filling the sky. Hanuman grew larger, his form expanding until he filled her vision. Sursa widened her jaws wider still. Then, with quick wit, Hanuman shrank in an instant to the size of a bee, darted into her mouth and out again, and laughed. I have passed through as you demanded. Now let me go, for my mission awaits. Sursa, pleased, blessed him and vanished. But illusion had one more trial. A demoness named Simhika rose from the waves, her power to seize shadows. She caught hold of Hanuman's shadow and dragged him down. Yet Hanuman, unafraid, struck her with the force of thunder and destroyed her. The path was clear, and onward he flew. At last, the golden towers of Lanka appeared on the horizon. Ravana's city gleamed with splendor, guarded by walls of iron and gates of demons. Hanuman descended upon its shores like a silent flame, shrinking his form until he was no larger than a cat. For strength alone is not enough, wisdom and stealth must walk beside it. Entering the city by night, he searched every palace, every garden, every chamber. He saw Ravana himself, seated on his throne, radiant yet corrupted by arrogance. He searched among the women of the court, but Sita was not there. At last he came to the Ashoka grove, where under a tree she sat, thin with sorrow, clothed in simple garments, surrounded by demonesses. Her eyes were downcast, her face pale with grief, yet her spirit shone undiminished. Ravana approached her with words of desire and threats of death, but she answered him with scorn. I am Rama's. Your threats mean nothing, your riches are dust. My heart cannot be stolen, even if my body is captive." Hanuman's heart swelled with devotion. From his hiding place, he marveled, "Here is true greatness. Even in chains, she is free." At the right moment, he revealed himself, descending from the tree with folded hands. "Mother, do not fear. I am Hanuman, servant of Rama. He sent me across the ocean to find you. Here is his ring, the sign of his love." Sita took the ring, her tears flowing at the sight. "My Rama still lives," she whispered. "Hope is not lost." She gave Hanuman a jewel from her hair, saying, "Take this to him, and tell him I wait, though time is short." Hanuman bowed and said, "Do not fear. Rama will come. No force in heaven or earth can stop him. Your sorrow will end, your joy will return." Having completed his mission, Hanuman might have returned. But his devotion sought more. He rose in size, struck fear into the city, and destroyed Ravana's gardens. Captured by demons, he allowed himself to be bound, only to show them his power. They set his tail aflame, but with fire upon him, he grew vast, leaping from rooftop to rooftop, setting the golden city ablaze. Flames consumed Lanka, a vision of Ravana's fate to come. Then, with a final leap, Hanuman soared back across the ocean, carrying Sita's message and jewel to Rama. The mission was complete. Faith had leapt the ocean, devotion had conquered fear, and hope had returned to the heart of Rama. This chapter of the Ramayana is one of its most powerful lessons, that faith can move mountains, and devotion can cross oceans. Hanuman did not doubt, he did not hesitate, he did not count the odds. He simply believed in Rama, believed in Dharma, believed in himself. And in that belief, the impossible became inevitable. In our lives too, we face oceans of fear, oceans of failure, oceans of doubt. We stand on the shore, saying, "It is too vast. I cannot cross." But within us lies the same power that lay within Hanuman, the power of faith, of courage, of devotion. When awakened, it transforms weakness into strength, despair into hope, and distance into victory. Ask yourself, what is your ocean? What lies on the far shore that you long for, yet fear to attempt? Learn from Hanuman. Remember who you are. Remember the wind that flows within you, the strength that sleeps in your soul. Bend low, gather your will, and leap. For when you leap with faith, the very universe will rise to carry you. Hanuman teaches us that we are greater than we know, that our limits are illusions, our fears lies, our doubts chains we ourselves forge. To remember our true nature is to break those chains and soar. If this story inspired you, if it reminded you that faith can leap oceans, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Ramayan Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description. Episode 11, The Bridge to Lanka, Teamwork Creates Miracles. The jewel from Sita's hair lay in Rama's hands, a shining reminder that hope was alive. Hanuman had returned from Lanka, carrying not only the proof of her captivity but also the flame of determination. "She waits for you," Hanuman said, bowing before him. "Her heart is unbroken, her faith unshaken. She endures with the dignity of a queen, and she sends you this token, trusting that you will come." Rama embraced Hanuman, tears of gratitude in his eyes. "You have done what no one else could. You crossed the ocean, entered the city of the enemy, and returned with hope. You are more than a servant, more than a warrior. You are the breath of my own life." But though joy filled their hearts at this reunion, a new challenge loomed before them, the ocean. Between them and Sita lay the vast expanse of waves, stretching hundreds of miles, guarded by Ravana's fortresses and armies. To reach her, they had to cross what no army had ever crossed. The Ravana legions gathered at the shore. Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriv, Angada, Jambavan, and countless warriors stood staring at the endless waters. The waves roared, as if daring them to attempt the impossible. Despair threatened their spirits, but Rama's voice cut through the silence. We will not falter. If Dharma is with us, no force can stop us. We shall build a bridge across this ocean, and on it we will march to Lanka. Thus began one of the most extraordinary feats in the Ramayana, the building of the Setu, the bridge of stones that span the sea. At first, Rama prayed to the ocean, seeking its blessing. For 3 days he fasted and meditated, asking the waters to grant them passage. But the ocean did not yield. At last, Rama, angered, raised his bow, threatening to dry the seas themselves. The ocean trembled and rose in the form of a deity, folding his hands in reverence. O Rama, forgive my delay. You are the Lord of Dharma, and I am but a servant. If you would cross me, let your army build a bridge upon my waves, and I shall hold it firm. With this blessing, the task began. Stones and trees were brought from the forests. The Vanaras worked day and night, carrying boulders upon their shoulders, uprooting mountains, dragging them to the shore. Each stone bore the name of Rama, inscribed by their hands. And as each stone touched the waters, it floated, defying nature, upheld by devotion. Hanuman lifted mountains and placed them in the sea. Angada hurled boulders with the strength of 100 warriors. Jambavan guided the work with wisdom, ensuring unity. Sugriv directed his armies with tireless energy. And at the heart of it all was Rama, whose name made the impossible possible. The ocean roared, but the bridge grew. Day after day, mile after mile, until at last it stretched from the shores of Bharat to the golden gates of Lanka. What had seemed a barrier became a highway of victory. This was not merely construction, it was the embodiment of teamwork. Alone, no Vanar could have built such a bridge. Alone, not even Hanuman's leap could have carried an army across. But together, united in purpose, they accomplished what the world thought impossible. Here lies the lesson: teamwork creates miracles. When each member gives his strength, when each stone is laid with devotion, even oceans can be crossed. The bridge was not held by stone and water, it was held by unity, by faith, by shared purpose. As the armies marched upon the bridge, the Vanaras roared in triumph, their voices echoing across the seas. The gods looked down in wonder, marveling that such creatures, half man, half beast, could achieve what even the greatest kings could not. But it was not their form that mattered, it was their spirit. And so they marched, step by step, across the Setu, their eyes fixed upon Lanka, their hearts aflame with devotion to Rama. On that bridge walked not only Vanaras, but the embodiment of Dharma itself, advancing upon a Dharma with unstoppable force. Think of your own life. How many oceans lie before you? Oceans of fear, oceans of difficulty, oceans of doubt. Alone, they seem impossible. Alone, the waves overwhelm. But when hearts unite, when teamwork is forged, the impossible becomes inevitable. The Setu teaches us that no one achieves greatness alone. Even Rama, the Lord himself, did not cross the ocean without allies. He accepted their help, honored their devotion, and walked with them as equals. Leadership is not the pride of standing above others, it is the humility of walking beside them, turning every hand into a force of victory. So too must we build our bridges. In families, in communities, in nations. Every stone is a person's effort, every inscription of Rama's name a reminder that purpose must guide the work. Alone we stumble, together we rise. The bridge to Lanka was not only a path across the ocean, it was a symbol that when truth and unity march hand in hand, no force can stand against them. Ravana's arrogance believed the sea would protect him, but unity shattered his illusion. And so the Vanaras stood upon Lanka's shores, ready for war. Behind them lay the ocean, conquered by teamwork. Before them lay Ravana's city, trembling in anticipation. The stage was set for the final battle between Dharma and Adharma. As you reflect on this chapter, ask yourself, what bridge must you build? What ocean blocks your path? Do not despair. Gather your allies. Unite your efforts. Lay stone upon stone, inscribe upon each one the purpose of your life, and march forward. The waves may roar, but they cannot drown devotion. If this story inspired you, if it reminded you that unity creates miracles, support this journey of Dharma with a symbolic donation of $11. And for the complete 15-episode uncut motivational Dharma Vault, encompassing the journey from start to finish, claim it through the link in the description.
Ramayan Episode 12, The War with Ravana, Courage, Leadership, and Justice. The bridge was complete. The roar of the Vanara legions shook the very ocean they had conquered. Across the Setu they had marched, stone by stone, mile by mile, until they now stood upon the shores of Lanka. Before them rose Ravana's city, glittering with towers of gold, its gates fortified, its streets filled with demons ready for war. Yet behind those walls lay Sita, waiting in faith. Rama gazed upon the city, his eyes steady. Here stands the fortress of arrogance. But it shall fall, for Dharma does not yield. His army cheered, their voices thunder rolling across the land. Messengers were sent first, for Rama, even in war, upheld Dharma. Angada, son of Vali, strode into Ravana's court with dignity. Standing tall before the demon king, he declared, "Return Sita. Bow to Rama. End this without blood." Ravana laughed, his 10 heads rearing in scorn. "Return Sita? To a forest-dwelling prince? I am Ravana, lord of Lanka. No god, no man, no Vanara can command me." Angada, unshaken, planted his foot upon Ravana's floor and said, "If you can move my foot, know your strength is greater than Rama's. But if you cannot, your pride is hollow." Ravana's warriors strained, but Angada's foot was immovable. With calm defiance, he leapt back to Rama's camp. War was now inevitable. The drums of battle resounded. Conches blew. Lanka trembled as the armies clashed. From dawn to dusk, the fields shook with the roars of Vanaros, and the cries of Rakshasas. Mountains were torn and hurled as weapons, trees became spears, arrows darkened the skies. Shugriva struck down demon generals. Jambavan rallied the ranks with wisdom. Angada fought with the fury of youth. Hanuman, the mountain-sized warrior, tore through enemy lines, scattering demons like leaves in a storm. Yet the Rakshasas were fierce, commanded by Ravana's mighty sons. Indrajit, the master of illusion, entered the battlefield cloaked in sorcery. His arrows rained like fire, striking even Rama and Lakshmana. Bound by the serpent weapons of Indrajit, the brothers fell unconscious, and despair seized the Vanaros. But Garuda, the divine eagle, descended, his presence shattering the serpents, reviving Rama and Lakshmana. The war raged on. Kumbhakana, Ravana's giant brother, awoke from his slumber, a mountain of flesh and fury. His roars shook the skies, his arms crushed armies, his steps shattered the earth. But Rama, calm as ever, lifted his bow. His arrows pierced the giant, each shot a thunderbolt of justice. Kumbhakana fell, his massive body crashing like a mountain into the sea. Still, Ravana did not yield. His arrogance burned brighter than reason. "Let the world be drowned in blood," he thundered, "but I will not bow." Indrajit returned with greater fury, wielding weapons of darkness. In battle he struck Lakshmana with the Shakti spear, piercing him deep. Lakshmana fell, his breath fading. Rama, grief-stricken, cried, "If my brother dies, what joy is left for me, even if Sita is saved?" But Hanuman would not allow despair. At Jambavan's urging, he leapt to the Himalayas to fetch the Sanjeevani herb. Unable to recognize the herb, he lifted the entire mountain and carried it through the skies. The fragrance revived Lakshmana, restoring him to life. Rama embraced Hanuman with tears. "What can I give you," he said, "when you have given me back my brother?" Hanuman bowed and answered, "To serve you is my only reward." At last came the final duel. Rama and Ravana stood face to face, the battlefield cleared for their clash. Ravana's 10 heads glared, his 20 arms bristled with weapons. His laughter shook the skies. But Rama stood serene, his bow glowing with the fire of Dharma. Their arrows clashed like thunderbolts, tearing the heavens, shaking the earth. Demons and Vanaros alike watched in awe. Ravana's weapons were terrible, spears of fire, serpents of venom, storms of darkness. Rama countered each with calm precision, his arrows blazing with the light of righteousness. Day after day they fought, the war stretching across dawn and dusk. Each time Rama struck, Ravana's heads fell, only to rise again, his body infused with boons. The battle seemed endless, as though arrogance itself could not be slain. At last, the sage Vibhisana, Ravana's own brother who had joined Rama, revealed the truth: "Strike not at his heads, O Rama, but at his heart. Within lies the secret of his life." Rama lifted the Brahmastra, the divine weapon given by the gods. Folding his hands, he prayed, "O Lord of creation, let this arrow carry not my will, but the will of Dharma. May it strike not from hatred, but from justice." He drew the bow, released the arrow. It blazed like the sun, streaking across the sky. It struck Ravana's chest, piercing his heart. The demon king roared, his voices echoing like storms, then fell, his body shaking the earth. The arrogance of Lanka lay broken. The war was over. The armies of Ravana scattered, the Vanaros roared in triumph, the heavens showered flowers. Rama stood, his bow lowered, his heart calm. He did not rejoice in the fall of Ravana, but spoke softly, "He was great, though misled. Let his funeral be with honor. For even in the enemy, we must respect the spark of greatness." Here lies the deepest lesson of the war. Courage is not merely in striking down the foe, it is in facing despair without surrender. Leadership is not in commanding armies, it is in inspiring them with purpose greater than themselves. Justice is not in vengeance, it is in upholding Dharma, even toward the fallen. Rama's war was not of conquest. He sought no throne in Lanka, no gold, no riches. He fought only to restore truth, to rescue